guys. I mean, we are having fun in the studio. My guests are very, very interesting. I have two beautiful ladies and a gentleman. As for the gentleman, he's Ghanaian. I know most of you know the gentleman. But then we are here to talk about the Africa Monologue Challenge. And Ghana is set to host the 2023 edition of the challenge, which is scheduled to happen on the 27th. And we have three finalists in the studio to tell us more about this particular challenge. And let me take my time to mention their name. I have Rose Okeke, who is from Nigeria, and I have Nyokafi, the second name I can't pronounce, but she's from Kenya, and also our very own Brian Angels from Ghana, representing the motherland. Good afternoon and welcome to Entertainment Review.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you guys. It's good to have you guys.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is this your first time in Ghana?
It is my first time, actually.
Your first time, and you?
Me too.
Okay. How has it been?
Oh my God. I love the food.
Ooh,
the food is amazing.
Which one?
What's this we ate? The jollof.
Oh.
And your chili. You
the
guys
Ghana
have like different
jollof,
types of
like
chili.
the Ghana jollof. I know a Nigerian is on the table.
Right. She hasn't been to Nigeria.
But Rose, I'm sure you've tasted Ghana jollof.
I taste it. It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm representing your people.
It's true. But you know, Rose, you know how we keep fighting, and we don't know why Senegalese brothers and sisters
They're just watching us like
you guys.
Like this is our show. Yeah, this is our.
Anyways, guys, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And we are here to talk about the Africa Monologue Challenge. But then before we move into that, let's get some introductions about yourself, what you do, and what made you enter into this competition. So I'll start with I don't want to be biased. Let me start with the only gentleman on the table, Brian.
So as you know, my name is Brian Angels, actor, producer. For me, I think this monologue is just a way of practicing as actors. You know, we need that challenge.
Yeah.
And also, it's a platform for us to be seen in our fellow sister countries.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why we're here.
Okay.
You know, and also more importantly, to unite with fellow creatives across Africa.
Okay.
So this is the reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go to Rose.
So the African Monologue Challenge is okay. I'll just start off by saying like this is the AU week. That's the African Union week.
Yeah.
Like I think yesterday was the 60th anniversary of the African Union. So it's like bringing Africa together. You know, we don't really see that much of that except like in some other shows like reality TV. But this is like for actors, it's for creatives. And it's been great, like meeting people from different countries, and you know we're working together. We're going to be putting on a stage play tomorrow at the National Theater.
Okay.
So it's great. Like the whole theme and everything is just unity and.
Yeah, but tell us something a little bit about yourself.
So I am a writer. I'm an award-winning writer, actually. I'm an actor. I'm a producer, filmmaker. And I just enjoy creating. I enjoy making films. I enjoy acting. I was a theater kid.
Okay.
So to go back to the theater now as an adult, like I'm actually looking forward to it. And it's been really fun. Acting it's always been one of my passions.
Okay.
So to live that out now, it's amazing.
Finally, Nyokafi.
Yes.
A bit about yourself and why you entered into the challenge.
Okay, my name is Nyokafi Masharia, and I am a Kenyan actor, director, producer, and my background is in musical theater. So I also love movement and dance, and I love art in general. And the reason I entered this competition, one is similar to what Brian has just said. It was a really good way to stretch my muscle because there's this thing we say, actors, we do so much the work of acting, which is getting on set and doing productions, that we forget the actual work of acting is the practice itself without having to put on a performance. And so what, for me, African Monologue Challenge did to me was, first of all, building my repertoire of monologues, which is very hard for actors, which is interesting because this is what we are supposed to be doing. And it just made me a better actor, even in terms of like getting my lines. I'm way faster at that now. So yeah, it was a good way to stretch my muscle.
Okay, so if I'm getting the idea about this challenge from Brian and Rose, is the fact that is to sort of create some Pan-African creatives to be able to represent the African continent on a larger scale.
Yes.
Okay, so in that perspective, what does the challenge seeks to, what kind of actors does it seeks to nurture in able to give us a good representation of the African continent? I'll come to Brian and then I'll come to Rose.
Okay.
So, for example, yesterday we were at, we had a Pan-African lecture yesterday, and the
African Image Conference, AIC.
Conference, we were trained about Pan-African values. I mean, reminded of Pan-African values and some of the things that we didn't know we were taught. So all these values that we're reminded of as creatives, we are the front runners of this thing, you know, because people say a lot of Africans don't like to read, so they like to watch. They rather watch the movies, and so it's easier when we send message through the movies.
Yeah.
So we are running that, transforming the minds, the way the African child, we're thinking we are the people to begin that revolution.
Yeah.
You know, a few years ago, I tried to write a script, and when I write, I don't see myself in the movies. I see white people instead. I don't even write for myself.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
See white people.
So because I was watching a lot of, white movies.
Yeah.
So I didn't think this thing was affecting me until I got to that, like, wow, look at that. I am an actor. I want to act. And yet when I write, I see other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is when I realized that this is a problem, you know. So consciously now, I when I'm choosing my movies, I'm conscious about that.
Yeah, you're conscious about what
So,
it can influence you.
yes.
Yeah.
So this is the time of things we want to do. A lot of our people want to see movies, but they don't like what we are producing here.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not disrespect to any filmmaker in Africa, but our people are watching this foreign content and they want to see themselves in those movies. So,
True.
this is a journey of raising filmmakers, actors who can live up to that standard, and then we start producing Afrocentric content that Africans can look up to and be proud.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a very good one. But what was there? My colleagues who come in, Harriet and Helen, will be coming in to ask similar questions. But what was or were the qualification for getting into this challenge? Because viewers, bear in mind, these are finalists, and you guys are 10 or
11.
11. Wow. 11. Wow. Okay, that's good. So what kind of requirements was required? Is it that actors who are already in the system or newbies?
So as long as you're African, anywhere in the world, you can enter.
Even in the diaspora?
Even in we actually have someone from the diaspora, from the UK, representing the diaspora.
Okay.
So she, the challenge was basically, as long as you're African, or if you're of African descent, if you're African, you can enter the challenge. And I think over 500 people applied from all over the world, not just Africa.
Yeah.
So they narrowed it down. They were, I'm not really sure how many judges, like maybe 10 or around, from South Africa, Germany, Kenya, like different legit like casting directors, judges who judged everyone's, and just kind of narrowed it down to us lucky 11.
Lucky 11.
Lucky 11.
Lucky 11. That's good. You see, when someone is doing a dialogue, it's so easy because it's sort of like a conversation. But when you're doing a monologue, that's way difficult. Your eyes, your voice has to communicate. Like, how do you guys get into character before, doing the big thing? Let me come to you.
I mean,
Good question.
that's a good question.
Because you guys, I'm saying this because when I watch movies, when I see the likes of Viola Davis, Angela Bassett, Taraji P. Henson, oh my, and when they are giving their monologue lines, you sit and you're like, what? So how do you do it? Because you guys, we are now looking up to you to also represent the continent. How do you make sure that you are psyched to be able to express yourself well?
So first of all, at least for every actor, there's different ways in which they get into character. But personally, for my process with monologues is very different with when I'm doing a show. And it's what you're saying with a show, you know, there's dialogue and there's another person involved. And so what you'll find is that you've prepared, then you go on set and maybe Brian is my scene partner and he hits me with another thing that I didn't see. And so I need to be in his energy. And then it's all about, okay, let's mix these energies. Let's mix the stories that you've come up with and I've come up with.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a monologue, I guess for me, it's trying to read it over and over again and trying to find a newer perspective each time. And it gets easier when you've memorized the lines, because then you're able to play around, you know, with impulses and with beats, and you're like, ooh, when I put a pause there, it reads differently. And you know, and especially with monologues, I'm very keen with punctuations. You'll be surprised what like that does for you as a performer. It sort of guides you through that, and even in scripts, really. But yeah, I think reading it over and over again. And then with monologues, I literally give myself 3 or 4 takes maximum.
Okay.
What you'll find, so for this competition, we had to, you know, send in self-tapes each time. The more you record, the more inauthentic you become. Because then you're like, I didn't say the instead of And you're like, what? So I give myself a maximum of 4 takes.
Okay.
Beyond 4 takes, I'd rather take a break than come back to it. But after 4 takes, I just tell myself, there's nothing I'm doing now. Now you just, and we're very critical of ourselves as performers. So you keep picking at very small things. And what you realize is that every performance you can never replicate a performance. And being in this challenge really made me feel comfortable with the mistakes, because mistakes also are part of a moment that can never be replicated. And sometimes they come, you know, to the best of, they edify the piece rather than make it less whatever.
So I want to understand this challenge. I mean, it's a monologue challenge. Is it that you all will come up with a scene and constantly be doing a sketch, individual sketches, and then they will select, okay, yours is good, yours is not good, you're out of the stage? How is it like?
So for the challenge, not the play tomorrow, for the actual challenge, sometimes they would give us prompts. Like they would say, okay, you are talking to maybe the AU, you're presenting something, or you're in an elevator and you just got a call, you know, just random. Yeah, so we would have to interpret that, create our own monologues, and then send it through. And sometimes they would give us a liberty, just do whatever you want. But usually they would send us prompts and stuff.
So that's what you did. I mean, over 500 people that sent in their auditions, or
we were doing it roughly like every 2 weeks.
Okay,
roughly about
and then
every
they
2 weeks
selected.
for a year. Yeah.
Must be a lot of stress. I mean, with what you said, doing several takes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a lot of stress, especially because you have other things going on in life.
Yeah.
But there's a deadline, and they were very strict with the deadline. And so I remember there's a time there was just like, either I'm traveling and I don't have this and that. But what that challenge made me realize is, in life, if you wanted to be consistent and do something every day for 365 days, it is extremely possible. And sometimes it was so hard. I'm like, I'm really busy. I'm not even trying to make myself busy. I'm really busy. So sometimes I'd record, it's like 12 a.m. is the midnight. I'm starting at 10. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to get this done. So, yeah.
So of all the recordings, I know you said you're very critical of yourself, but which one would you say that, okay, I did so well, I'm so proud of myself? I mean, it goes to all of you.
She did 4 times. She has 4 very good ones.
She has 4 very good.
I don't know which one. Sometimes I would just do one take, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just send this.
Yeah.
No stress.
And then other times I would just be like, I got to do this again. I got to do this again. But I can't. Which one was my favorite? I'm not really sure. We did so many. Like we did like every 2 weeks for a year. Like we started around this time last year, and we've been sending them. So I can't really.
Mine, I know what mine was. The very first that we submitted to Final 50.
Yeah.
Oh, I killed it. I was amazing. I was great. I was like, wow, you deserve an Oscar for this.
Your name should be in the record, Guinness World Record.
I was like, why am I in Kenya just chilling?
Talking about emotions, which one would you say that's so difficult to, act it? Is it crying? Because men do not cry, but
That's there are different kind of crying.
yeah.
For me personally, in real life, like I won't shed tears easily, like, because I'm a man.
Okay.
It just don't come. But maybe it's also I try to hide it a lot. I try to hide a lot of things. So, but what we do in real life, sometimes you see, it's not interesting on camera. So some of the things we do, we're faking it really because. When we talk in real life, you do this.
Yeah.
On screen, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So we fake it. So for me, I suppress it because I don't know which emotion is.
Well, what
For me, it's
what if
happiness.
there's a scene?
Yours is happiness.
Yeah.
Really?
Very friendly. Like, oh my God, no.
It feels so fake.
Like if you want me to cry, I will shed tears. I will be mad. I will be angry. That's very easy for me because I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a Cancer. That's my zodiac sign. We cry a lot. I don't know.
Isn't that
I don't
easy
know.
for a lot of artists? Because Fela last time said she can easily cry.
Yeah.
So maybe
Crying
it
is really easy to.
I feel like the thing about crying is it's easy to cry, but it's hard to actually look sad. Like that emotion. I feel like it's less about the crying and more about your, the voice breaking. That's
that
what
one.
being sad is really about. So I like doing that.
I can produce that. What I can do is I can produce that feeling. This guy is sad.
Yeah.
But you won't get the tears or whatever.
And it's really hard to do. Like it's really hard to you have to hold the tears.
You see?
That's really hard.
And for me, what I really find hard is because we have different takes during a shoot, is consistency in the crying. It's like take one, okay. Take two,
you have to.
and it's just like, oh my God. And so it's how do you maintain that consistency of the crying? That I find really hard.
But I realize that most of you here have been acting even before this challenge and all that. So this is something you have been doing professionally. But how do you feel when you are being asked? Jerry Mumba from Sizabian says that he feels very disrespectful for him to be asked, what do you do apart from acting? Do you feel same? Because I see that, you act, you write, you do, it's all related to acting. Do you feel disrespected whenever you're asked? What do you do apart from acting?
This is interesting because I literally had this conversation
We
with
had this
someone
conversation.
yesterday. And I was like, I don't know how to ask this because I like to ask that, not to say acting is not a career, but is there, how do you compliment? And we're trying to get the best way of phrasing it. So it is disrespectful, to be honest, because it's like for the longest time ever, the industry has not been taken seriously. And in my country, you'll find parents saying, my son just finished Form 4. Can he come to your, those things you do? What are they called? Just before he goes to university. And it's almost as if that's the one that, just keep him busy. That's not the serious one. Keep him busy and then let's find something for them. And what you don't realize is that artists are one of the most, they're the most brilliant minds ever because we know something about everything. And you'll find if it's sports, I have an idea about what that is. If it's engineering, it's because of the characters that we get to embody. So it's actually, it takes a lot of intelligence to be an artist.
But then doctors will not be asked these questions. Lawyers will never be asked.
Yes.
The accent, I think mostly is in Africa they ask those questions. It's because they know they're not paying us what they should be paying us. So because you use our works to sell your product, right? But you don't want to pay us what we're due. That's why you ask us, what do you do apart from? But now when you ask me that, I probably would ask a teacher now, what, apart from teaching, do you do any other thing? Because I'm looking at the income, right? Not just because actually, why are you asking that? Because I do just acting, and I've been living off acting. Yeah, because, so that's all I do. I do acting full time. Yes. So.
Interesting. What's the difference between, like, I was thinking when I realized I guys were coming, what's the difference between a monologue, a poetry, and also spoken words? Because isn't it the same thing that sort of like arouse the same emotions? What's the difference?
I mean, if you're doing spoken word, there's a certain level of acting you have to put into it, to properly convey the emotions you want to convey. I think the major difference is that, is poetry. So you're talking about like, specific subject, if it's maybe love or something, but monologues are is just acting. Like you're in another, like spoken word can be like based on my own personal experiences, but then a monologue would be someone completely different who I'm portraying. I think that would be like the major difference. But there's poetry and monologues, there's monologues and poetry, so.
And I think also in terms of the execution of the pieces, it's a bit different. It's like, I play rock music, but I also play jazz music. So I think it's that kind of thing, because I think a spoken word it is a monologue. But with a spoken word, you'll find some of them do it with a rhythm. Like entertainment review is here, and I know African Monologue Challenge team is here. And people are just snapping their fingers. And so I think it's just a matter of maybe the form of art it is, the execution of it.
But I wish just to know how you are able to keep an audience to a monologue act. How are you able to do that? Because we all know that with dialogue, there is another person involved, but with monologue, it could get sometimes boring just watching one person doing something. How are you able to keep an audience with that?
Your emotions, you have to, once you grab their attention, and I feel like once you lose that attention, it's going to be very hard to bring it, get it back. But you just have to be that person. Like you can't, it's very easy, like for me, I can tell when someone is acting. Like in a movie, I can watch a movie and I'm like, oh yeah, this person's just acting. But then when you watch a movie when an actor is actually that character, like you can differentiate, okay, that's actor, but this is this character, So when you can grasp people's attention and move them, you have to be moving. Like once you feel moved by something, you wouldn't even know when you're just like captivated, just watching the person. And like when they're done, it's like a spell has been broken, So it's, once you can tap into that, I feel like that's, how to keep an audience hooked.
In recent times, we wanted to add.
Like, we've all been having monologues now, because like now this is a monologue. But most importantly, what do you want the person to, why are you saying what you were saying? At the end of the day, that's very important. So that would determine how you say it, Because if I want you to get up there, what I'm saying is to get you out of the studio, it's different to when I want you to come here and hug me. Different way that I would say it. You understand?
Okay. So before I ask what I want to ask, on the back of that, then what are the type of elements, let's say the judges looked to say that, this is a good monologue, this is not? What are the elements that it needs to be in any monologue? Be it like, let's say, a few minutes, a long monologue, what are the elements that needs to be in?
Well, first of all, a monologue, probably you don't want it beyond 1 minute, 30 seconds. If for the first 15 seconds, you have not captured me, I don't care. So you don't build up with a monologue. It's the first 10 seconds, say something that interests me.
Okay.
Whether it's about the subject, whether it's the emotion, it needs to start with a bang. And when I say a bang, I don't mean you need to start shouting. Even in terms of, you could say, men don't like women. That's something that you're like,
He's like, I want to hear more.
What does that mean?
what's ground?
Exactly. It's not those ones for now. You start building up to it. By the time you're building to it,
You might lose your
if
audience.
for the first, and I'll give it 30 seconds max. Even if yourself, look at yourself when you're watching a video on Instagram. If it has not captured you the first 15 minutes, do you bother?
No.
You scroll up.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens.
In a monologue.
In a monologue.
Okay.
There's no time to build up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the final day is tomorrow. The venue is
National Theatre.
National Theatre. Time.
6
6 p.m.
Okay, 6 p.m. Red
Yeah.
carpet.
Okay. And tickets.
Tickets, you have to call this number.
Okay.
024-684-7493.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Can
number
you
again?
repeat it
Yeah.
again?
024-684-7493.
Okay, so by tomorrow, by Sunday, we'll have a champion among the 11 finalists. I like the facial expression. It's like he's seated here and he's out of the zone. He's forgotten that he has to do somewhere. So when I said, Rose is like,
You know what? Let me say something here because this is an opportunity. Because I might not get this chance again.
Okay.
You know, my belief is anything in form of art, you shouldn't judge and say this is good, this is not good.
okay.
Okay.
That's true.
Judges, are you
because you can't tell me how to be angry, how not to be angry.
Yeah.
So when you look at me and I tell you this and you say no, she's more angrier than you, so I believe her anger.
Okay.
Then what are you saying?
Okay.
So in future, well, this is to the organizers. This is just to say that they're not my friends. They don't need to. How do I say? They don't need to listen to what I'm saying. But this is my opinion as an artist, because I have my own set of beliefs. So in future, we're trying to unite Africa. So maybe there should be a different way of doing this than telling you this. The competition is what puts us as Africans where we are today.
Yeah.
You understand? And so if we're still doing this, but for today, we are launching it tomorrow so that we would continue the conversation from there. This is just a beginning so that we can build upon it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this so that tomorrow you don't hold it against me. You say you were part of a competition. I don't like competitions.
Okay.
Because this is what divides us.
Okay.
Now I'm trying all I can to win. You know, that's not unity. You know, we're dividing each other when we compete.
To compete.
You understand?
Yeah.
And
But I'm
especially
sure
for
whatever
artists.
it is, there's a standard that though I will be
And they're
angry and I
looking
might
for
not
the
talk,
best.
Yeah,
someone will be
absolutely.
angry and act a certain way, but there's a standard that we have a meeting point that, okay, at least this should be seen in a certain emotion or this should be seen in a certain art. So it could be different ways and means, but then let's say 10 is 10. So we are looking at something around that area. And I think that's the way they could judge.
Competition is also to select the best.
Right.
Yes, because you want the best.
Yes. So
And let me just add on what he said. I think that's such a powerful thing that even as we're saying, you know, we're competing and there's a champion, it's important to realize that art cannot be measured.
Yeah.
True.
And what you like is not what I like. And that is okay.
Yeah.
So there's no way of saying your movie is better because that's what I'm used to, you know? And it's the whole conversation again of, you know, white films versus African films.
Yeah.
We are told that, you know, your films are not, this is not the standard, but according to who?
Yeah.
Because what did we used to do before you came into our country and said, these are the things that are happening? And even when you cross over to the conversation about acting methods, it's interesting to realize that Africans have been doing these Stanislavskis and Stella Adlers and Meisner techniques. We just did not name them that.
Okay.
It's the same conversation about Mount Kenya was discovered by this white person. No. You just televised it. Otherwise, we've been living in Mount Kenya all our lives. And so I think that's actually a very crucial thing for even people who are there at home thinking, I want to get into this this industry. It's important for them to know that the world will put standards, but you've got to value what you're bringing to the table. And just because I don't appreciate what you're bringing to the table doesn't mean that my opinion should not dictate what you do with your art.
I agree.
I think what Brian did was just a pure monologue, but without emotions. And
some of the greatest artists, musicians, painters, they were not valued until they died.
Yeah.
True.
Look at the way he walked. Now it's something.
Funny.
Yeah.
I feel like now
I think a typical example is Chadwick. Because he was criticized a lot of things, but I mean he's passed, and now we see a lot of things about it. But then, is there a grand prize for the winner?
Yes. So it's we're going to be shooting a movie with all of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the winner's getting the lead role.
Yeah.
And like some other benefits, like some
$1,000.
monetary, $1,000,
Yes.
headshots. I
Yeah.
think there's 3 prizes. There's
Yeah.
the first runner-up, second runner-up, and then the winner.
And he's going to be
Yeah.
an ambassador for
like the face of the African Monolog Challenge.
African Free Trade Association.
Wow.
And the movie is going to be the movie is going to be shot in the winner's country. So if she wins, we go on a Kenya.
Is it the movie or the next round?
No, the movie.
The movie.
Oh,
The movie will be
I see.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a new wave that I love so much. They used to say that we as Africans, we get others telling our story. But in recent times, we see our stories being told by great people. We've had movies like The Woman King. We've had so many movies. I saw one on your Instagram page, The Burial of
Kojo.
Kojo,
Yes,
yeah.
even Beast of No Nation.
Yeah.
Those movies are telling our stories. If we get a winner on such a bigger platform, that initiative, what is the person going to do? Are there strategies that a person has to follow? Even though it's a competition, they have to do what they have to do. But then are there plans, strategies on how to continue to make sure that whatever you people want to be on that platform, as in to be heard on a bigger platform, that winner or that person has to follow? Is there something like that? Are there plans and strategies for the person to be able to follow? Or when the person wins, whatever the person has to do has to be by him or herself?
Yeah, I think it's once you get the prize and you've done the whole short film and situation, I guess what that does for you is visibility.
Okay.
Now what you do after that visibility, I think, is entirely up to
them, you don't have to follow certain things okay.
No.
I thought maybe there was sort of like a Warner Brother production, a Disney production. That is, you have to follow to get those things.
I'm not sure about that.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah.
I don't think I understand the questions. Really.
Okay, so I'm saying that
Yeah.
the question is what we are doing in
Yeah.
terms of the movies that we produce to represent Africa.
Okay.
The winner,
Yeah.
in order to continue what has been done.
Okay.
Are there strategies that the network that brought this idea
Okay.
dare to make the winner follow, or you have to do your own thing?
Okay. This is organized by I think MK Production Power this thing. So basically what it's doing is giving you visibility.
Yeah.
Okay. Now everybody's attention is going to be on you.
On you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, what it's doing is exposing you to all these talent agencies, producers, directors, writers.
Thank you
So that's
guys
it,
for
yeah.
coming. I really,
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that,
Yeah,
Brian.
thank
Rose,
Yes.
and also Nyokafi.
Right.
Oh, I got it. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Very, very
Thank
and
you.
everyone is a winner in their
Yes.
own way. So
Yes.
no matter what happens tomorrow,
You are a
we are a
winner.
winner. We are winners.